Let me come back to you, Mayabami. The issue of vote buying still came up again, in this election.
Okay, well, I'm going to address the issue of vote buying. I quickly want to say something about this inconclusive election.
Yeah.
About a month ago, there was a by-election in Lokoja Kogi Federal constituency. And let me just read out here that the returning officer, Professor Rotimi Ajayi, he declared the candidate of the APC winner after polling 26,860 votes, while the candidate of the PDP scored 14,845 votes. Now, the interesting part is 153,470 votes were total number of registered voters. 51,669 votes were accredited for that election. 51,669 were accredited for the election. According to him, 50,036 voters was a total number of votes cast, while 48,000 was recorded as valid votes.
Yeah.
Now, this is the interesting part. 1,871 votes was declared invalid. One. Then 19,960 votes were cancelled as a result of violence in some polling units in 2 local government areas. 19,960 votes, yet a winner was declared. 19,960 votes were cancelled, then 1,871 votes were invalid. Yet there was a declaration.
So are you saying that the margin between the winner and the
that was a
closest
major
rival?
Over 21,000 votes here were not part of what was counted. Now, you can say, what yardstick was given for this inconclusive election? There was no case of violence. If there is anything that I would applaud INEC and the government of Osun State for, is the fact that the election, to a large extent, was free and fair, devoid of violence. No polling booths hijack, no thuggery, nothing. There could have been some technical or systematic kind of rigging, basically. When it comes to vote buying, the question I was asked earlier, we've seen both parties had their issues when it comes to vote buying. Yesterday, when the election was held, I think 2 people...
You mean on Saturday?
On Saturday, yeah. When the election was held, I think 2 people who were claimed to be members of the PDP, carrying a sack that had the imprint of the candidate on it. I don't know how that can be true. Were arrested.
Oh, not the candidate. It actually had his late elder brother.
Oh, his late elder brother's picture and name on it. That they were caught with about 600 and something thousand, and they claimed that the money was meant for their party. No. The guy said they were meant to share the money with party of agents thereabout. Now, vote buying had been in existence since the advent of democracy in Nigeria. Let's be very factual.
Return to democracy or advent of democracy?
At least, I'm saying since the advent of democracy in Nigeria, since we have been voting, vote buying had been. Using the word vote buying is the same thing as what you call stomach infrastructure.
Let me bring Bamishare into the mix. Victor, I mean, you heard all the speakers, speak about their experiences or what they feel about the election, but what is your own take, especially, with regards to how INEC conducted, the elections as well as vote buying?
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity to be here. I think in Nigeria, when we want to talk about election, we have to talk about it comparatively and progressively. We have to talk about where we are coming from, where we are now, and exactly where we think we should be headed. And if you look at INEC as of today, I think INEC deserves a lot of applause. They've done so well in comparison to what it used to be. Now we can say we have an election where, to a very large extent, votes count, individual votes count. To a very large extent, people get the number of, the number of people that have voted are the same thing that are being transmitted. And where you see overvoting, you see INEC cancelling. You see for the first time, INEC achieving 100% of getting all their logistics ready on time. And you see that, for example, in Ekiti and also now in Osun, there's no violence, and rigging has been reduced to a very large extent. This time around, they banned using a phone in the polling booth. I mean, they've done so well, and I can only hope, and I hope to see them begin to continue to improve in the coming days and in the coming years. Of course, if Osun is anything to go by, we can see that INEC has really improved in terms of logistics. Of course, there will be a few hiccups here and there, and it is on them now to look at how can they get better with where there were hiccups. And pockets of rigging or vote buying here and there, I think there we need more voter education to resist these things. And I mean, we're a work in progress. And in a democracy as nascent as us and as developing as us, I think what INEC has done today is a welcome development.
Speaking about that welcome development, Mr. Ladipo just made mention of a case, where the results, the council votes, were more than the margin between the winner and the closest rival. Yet an election or a winner was declared.
Well, that could have been tested in court, but as of what is on ground, we should ask questions on the basis of ideality. Should a winner exist if the margin between the winner and the first person and the second person is lesser than the total number of votes cancelled? I will say no, ideally. So if there were precedents of that happening, I think it should be tested in court. But based on the decision that INEC has made today, I think ideally they are correct, and no court of the land will go against what they've done because it's the ideal situation, and they ought to be rerun as far as the result that came in today are concerned.
Very well. Let me also get to hear from you, Mukhtar. What do you think about that that incident, so to speak, now?
The one in Kogi?
Exactly.
I think the resident electoral commissioner has the final say, and if the resident electoral commissioner's say isn't acceptable to any of the parties, then they go to the electoral tribunal.
Very well. I mean, he's saying that the electoral umpire or the returning officer has the power to decide whether or not to declare an election inconclusive or return a winner in spite of the circumstances on ground, like you made mention of. So in Kogi,
yeah,
there was an issue, and then this time around, even though the margin is not as much as it was in Kogi, I mean, he still went on to declare the election inconclusive. Do you agree? I mean,
no, I don't. I don't agree with that analogy. I think it's preposterous that there is the INEC, the same commission in the region or in the different place has a different law, and other places also have a different law. I think it's really shameful because it shows clearly that the umpire that ought to conduct the election, in all fairness, is not unbiased. And to put play to what he has said, if the INEC, the law, Nigerian law is especially clear on declaring a person a winner of the election, and the law stipulates that you must have at least you must have one quarter and 2/3 majority of voting state, and a simple majority of total numbers of declared votes. So, and we've seen that in Osun State. We've seen that the election has been concluded, and we have a simple majority. All of a sudden now, there is now a new twist away from the constitutional provision, which was not used in Kogi State, which was not also adopted in Ekiti State as well. Because if you check the election in Ekiti State, the number of voided votes was higher than the margin between both parties.
Just hold it there for a bit. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back in a moment. Please stay with us.